Hi friends, it is me again. Oh, my voice is a little bit hoarse this morning, I guess. I'm just getting started, but I am very excited because today we are having another little chat about all things wedding. So pull up a seat, grab yourself a nice cozy little drink, and let's get chatting about my best wedding tips and tricks. I just want to preface, a couple weeks ago, I did a video highlighting my top 5 wedding regrets. So you can go back, give that a look for a little bit more detail and insight into our wedding even there. But without further ado, you guys, let's get into the topic of wedding. So, you know, like most girls, I had dreamed up this fairy tale dream perfect wedding since the time I was, I don't know, like 2 years old. And then you're like 25 and you're trying to plan a wedding and you're like, how do I make all my wildest dreams come true? Make it this dream wedding. But we're working with a lot of unique situations considering it was the year 2020, if you know what I mean. But even besides that, we were working with a budget, quite a strict budget. So we had to be really unique in our approach and really creative in ways that we saved money. Obviously, we were blessed beyond blessed to be able to get married on family property because truly that did save us quite a bit of money. However, looking back retrospectively, I don't know how much it truly saved us, considering then that meant that we had to rent all of the equipment we would need because obviously it wasn't being provided by a venue. Anyway, so that's just a little bit of a preface of the wedding scene. We got married on family property at Elijah's grandparents' farmhouse, which was perfectly located only 30 minutes from where we live and where the majority of our people live. Granted, a lot of my people had to travel from Southern California. That is a little bit of where it all started, how it all went. But let's just jump into some of my favorite things about our wedding and things that I would suggest for other brides on the other side of this camera that are planning a wedding or just maybe even dreaming of the wedding that you might have one day. I hope this inspires you and encourages you. And lastly, I also asked in my Instagram stories for brides or grooms to send in their top wedding regrets. And I'm gonna share a few of those with you guys so you can just take all of the wisdom and run with it. Okay, I feel like I'm going backwards, forwards, but one of the absolute highlights of my wedding of all time was having an epic send-off. It just was so fun, one. It was also a really convenient way to just be like, bye everybody, and not have to do like, bye, bye, bye. Or have people start to leave and then you're like, we have 3 people left, and just that like awkward, like, okay, I guess it's time to wrap down. It was just like, everyone knew there was gonna be a send-off and here's your confetti and we're gonna make this a beautiful thing. So a few tips for a send-off though. If you are like us, which a lot of venues operate this way, we cannot have sparklers, we cannot have fire or flames beyond the candles on the table. And with that, we had to be creative. So I actually purchased biodegradable confetti, white confetti, and it was so cool. It showed up so awesome in photos and people just threw it at us as we ran down in between both of the lines of people. It was so fun. A few other things I've seen people do is smoke bombs. So just a few people have smoke bombs and everybody else just like cheers and claps and waves as they run through. Another one I've seen is actually flower petals, and this is an idea that I almost went with. It was just a little bit pricier, so the biodegradable confetti was a way that I saved, but flower petals are another beautiful and great option for a little fireless send-off. Okay, next tip, Lord, this should be like number one on everyone's list. have a day of coordinator. Have a day of coordinator. I don't care if it's like your best friend's grandma or your childhood kindergarten teacher. Like, find somebody that would be thrilled out of their mind to help you on the day of your wedding. Granted, we were really blessed with an incredible day of coordinator that helped make everything happen. So basically what that meant is we planned our wedding. We did not have a wedding planner, but she helped take all of the ideas and dreams that we had made and planned for and made sure they were executed on the day of our wedding. And she had a team. So we hired people to help the day of the wedding, and she had those people help her with whatever the list of things might be, setting up tables, to making sure the ceremony is ready, to running errands, to managing trash cans, to all sorts of things. So they did tasks I'm sure I don't even know about, but that, oh my word, I can't imagine doing that day without having people to help. Highly, highly, highly recommend. And really sitting down and writing it all out for your day of coordinator. We met with her multiple times before the day of the wedding and went out to the venue with her and made sure she had a clear idea of what we were planning for and expecting for the day. And she was excellent. She was amazing, and thought of things that we wouldn't have even thought about, took care of needs we wouldn't have not been able to take care of. And I really didn't want my family or my husband's family to be working at our wedding. It was really important to me that they were guests and that they were able to enjoy the day. Granted, I'm sure there were still moments that they were, lending help here and lending help there, but I wanted the majority of their time to be really enjoying and savoring and celebrating the fact that their kids were getting married. So that was huge. Get yourself a day of coordinator. This one is definitely my budget tip for anyone and everyone out there. Make time and prioritize the meaningful things over the extravagant option. And for us, that looked like just a few ideas of what this looked like on our wedding day. Is rather than having a professional makeup artist do my makeup, I had my little sister do my makeup because, one, that's a love and a passion that she has. And growing up, she would often help me with my hair, with my makeup. She was like the one very into beauty and could help me do my own hair and do my own makeup. So come the day of the wedding, it felt really special that she was somebody that was able to do that for me the day of the wedding, and she killed it. I was able to give her such direction of what I wanted to look like and what I wanted to feel like. She knows me, and I was able to very clearly communicate, like, this is how much of this I want, this is how little of this I want, and she just did an excellent job. I look back at photos and I'm like, yeah, that's Alley. Like, that looks like me. No one's questioning if that's me. That's me. So that's one way that we had kind of those meaningful ways that people were involved in our wedding. Okay, so this one goes out to all the brides out there that are currently planning their dream wedding. Just take a little extra time and a little extra prep for your beauty stuff. I was so glad that I spent a little extra money on getting really nice hair extensions for the day and making sure that my hair had been done, that I had had the highlights put in my hair. So whatever you feel is going to make you feel the most beautiful, don't be afraid to splurge a little bit. Obviously, if you're working with a budget, that's within reason. So like, I wasn't getting spray tans. I had somebody else do my makeup. I didn't do a lot of these pre-wedding beauty packages like facials and body scrubs and things like that. Even looking back, I'm like, if I had extra money, I would have been thrilled to be able to do more beauty related things for myself. It's your day as a bride to be pampered, to feel beautiful, to really just look back and go, oh my goodness, that was the best. I felt gorgeous. I felt comfortable in my skin. I felt loved and celebrated. So very important for the brides out there. Okay, this was one of my favorite parts of the wedding. Was I did a first look with my dad, which was so special. So I didn't do a first look with Elijah. I just did a first look with my dad. And it was a special moment because the day of the wedding, he's not getting ready with the girls, he's getting ready with the guys. And when he arrives at the wedding, he's about to play a big role and walk you down the aisle and give a speech. And, it's a big day for him too. It's a big day for your families. And so I wanted to make sure my families felt really significant and special like they should on the day of my wedding. So I had a little moment with my dad right before walking down the aisle, actually, where he just saw me for the first time. He was like the most happy I had ever seen him in my life. And a funny little note is he was like trying so hard to keep it together, like he did not want to cry. And so I had written him a letter and wanted him to read it. And as I gave him the letter, he was like, can I just pretend to read this for a photo and I'll read it later? So he actually didn't read the letter then and there because he did not want to cry. And so it was just such a special moment. This is just my last pro tip for the ladies, is just let go of what people's opinions might be. Even your bridesmaids. For myself, it had been an incredibly stressful week, the week of my wedding. I had been so chill in the whole wedding planning process, but when it came to the week of my wedding, I was incredibly overwhelmed, but I rather was quite stressed. And so when it came to the day before my wedding, all I wanted to do was to be with my sister. I didn't want to be with my full wedding party with 1 million people. I was like, I've already had my bachelorette party this week and was just feeling overstimulated by all the people and all the celebration, which is so good, but it was just feeling like a lot. And so the night of my wedding, I was supposed to have all my bridesmaids come and spend the night with me the night before the wedding. However, day before the wedding, I just felt like I don't think I have the emotional capacity to have a massive slumber party tonight. I think I need to chill out with my sister and my best friend from out of town. It was hard because I felt like, I don't want to offend them or hurt their feelings or have them wondering, why does she have those 2 girls staying with her but not us? And granted, they are the sweetest, kindest, and the next day they told me that they had just spent the whole driving back praying for me. And I just had actually felt so covered and cared for by my friends versus feeling like they felt left out or, questioning their significance in my life, because there's just decisions that it's like, it actually has no meaning behind it. It has nothing to do with you. It all has to do with where I'm at and what I need today. And it doesn't have anything to do with how I feel about you. It's just this overwhelming feeling. And so I really had to let go of hurting people's feelings and wondering about people's opinions and just let it be. And then just a little tip and trick for the ladies after your wedding. It was really easy. I felt this invitation to slip into the hole of comparison after my wedding. I remember the first wedding I attended after my wedding, immediately wanting to nitpick my wedding and compare it to their wedding. And I just had to be like, nope, I'm not doing that. It's 2 completely different weddings, 2 completely different stories, 4 completely different people. It's just not, it's not going to be a fun game. Just really savor what your wedding was and appreciate it for what it was. What a magical day, regardless of how it turned out. You now are married. You now have a spouse. That is beautiful. And so I want to leave you guys with those tips from myself. However, I have a few little regrets I'm going to share with you from other girls that chimed in on my Instagram about their top wedding regrets. So obviously I'm keeping these anonymous, but I just figured you deserved all the wisdom and all the tips and tricks out there today. So, I can only give you the tips and tricks from my personal wedding, But that's just a little snippet of tips and tricks for girls out there. There's a variety of different weddings and situations and circumstances of things going down. So this one is funny, but this person said, I wish we would have eloped. Wedding planning was not my thing. Honestly, that's so good. I feel like you just need to know yourself. Like, what is actually going to bring you the most life? Is it having a huge celebration and a huge wedding? Or are you a kind of person that would just rather elope and just have it be you and your spouse? Okay, this person said their biggest regret was their caterers, which that's really important. I would say I didn't have a regret with our caterers. They had really excellent food. You know, call in advance, read reviews, go for a taste test, and like really see how you enjoy the catering. This person also said that they wish they danced more. And I would say, okay, this is something I am really thankful that I told my bridesmaids, and they just know me before the wedding, but I was like, I just want to dance. Like, I don't care about all the little things. Like, once everyone has said their speeches, like, let's just dance and let's just party. And so that was super fun, and I did love our dance party. It was a blast. Okay, this one's also funny. I don't think I've been to a wedding that does this anymore, but this person said, way back, I let my mother convince me to do a receiving line, which a receiving line is where you meet and greet each and every guest. And imagine if you have like a 300-person wedding, like, no, thank you. We just got up and walked around a little bit, like during dinner, and said hi to people, and we said hi to the majority of the people. I feel like on my wedding day, there were definitely a few tables we didn't get to, but people were also welcome to come up and chat with us at our table, so they did, and it was just super sweet. So you can find times to chat with people probably without a receiving line. Okay, this one is another bridesmaid's regret. She regretted not voicing to my bridesmaids that I really wanted a weekend bachelorette party. So I don't know if that means that she didn't have a party at all, or if it just wasn't on the weekend. And I think it's kind of intimidating to like tell your bridesmaids what you want and what you need. And personally, I didn't really know what I wanted and what I needed, because I was like planning a wedding. So I just was like, you guys plan this. I don't really care. I would just love to be celebrated. That would be so fun. And they did a great job considering all the circumstances that we were under. But totally just being confident and being able to tell your bridesmaids, like, this is what I would really love. Like, this would be the dream. But, you know, if that's not possible, whatever is possible for you guys is also great. But just making sure that it's even clear that they even have an expectation of what you're hoping for. This one is such a sweet little, this is a sweet little one. This person said, I forgot to thank my grandma and grandpa, and I love them. And I'm like, aw, I don't remember if I thanked my grandma either, but I was dancing on the dance floor with her. But those are little things. I wrote every person in my family a little card, just like expressing how much I love them and that I'm like so thankful that they've brought me to this place in my life. And so I think that's a little tip, because I kind of was expecting the day to get carried away and not be able to have like a special moment with each person. So I just wrote them all little cards. Luckily, I think I had a special moment with each of my immediate family at least. And then lastly, there's a few people in here that are just way too cute, and they were like, nothing, at the end of the day, we were married and that's all that matters. And truthfully, ladies, that is the best advice I can give you. At the end of the day, just let it go. The most beautiful and amazing thing about that day in the first place is the fact that you are married to the love of your life. That's the most amazing thing about a wedding in the first place. So I hope these tips and tricks are really helpful for you. Let me know in the comments below which ones were most helpful, and maybe even what were your biggest regrets or your biggest tips and tricks for your wedding that you would give to other people. I will see you all next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.